Hi there, this is Jason Eagle, your natural health expert again for Strategic Healing, another Feature Friday. So today we are going to talk about root canals. So in the alternative health world, probably a lot of people heard like don't get root canals. Root canals are really bad, and that's true in many instances. And in fact, I bought into that years ago, and that's why I got some teeth missing. And now I have to then get an implant and get something put in there. But I will tell you that Dr. Marshall, as well as I, have changed the mind in terms of if you can have it done right, it's better to keep your teeth. And it's if you do have a tooth that goes bad, a good root canal. So what is a good root canal? I'm going to go over it with this in a minute, and we're going to look inside the tooth. But let's go to, first of all, who I think is the good root canal specialist, Dr. Lou Shoha. He is in Southfield. His number is 248-358-2910. And he uses the correct materials, and he also uses all the right procedures. And I'm going to explain that to you. But what it means is that if you got a tooth that's gone bad and it is an infected root, you want to get it out. That's the number one thing. You want to get infection out of your head, and you want to get an infected root. And sometimes it can be infected and you don't even know it. It doesn't even cause pain, but it's leaching infection into your body, leaching infection into your bloodstream, into your brain. And so either you get the tooth out, which for sure it's gone, or you get the root out, okay? Now, if it's a good candidate, then this root canal, especially with the right materials and done right, is the best way to do it because you can save your tooth and keep your tooth. So take a look at this, and this will explain what a good root canal is.
Okay, so here we are looking inside the tooth. Okay, so we can see your teeth here, and let's look at a bottom tooth. So we're going to fade that, so we can see that the problem is that when we get an infection, what happens is that we have the root dies inside here, right? Inside here, you can see in here. And then what happens is that then it starts to send infection into the bloodstream. And then it can get infection deep inside the bone. So hopefully, if a tooth goes bad, we feel it, puts enough pressure, and then it will start to feel it. Well, sometimes we don't feel it. So here we are inside the tooth. And so we can see where the root is. So we've got the root canal, which is here. This is all this inside here, okay, all the way down in here. Now, what happens is if we have a cavity, all right, and the cavity works its way enough down into the dentin, and then it goes and it gets close enough to the root, what it will do is it will kill the root, and then the root dies inside of us, and it's like a snail trapped inside a shell. And then what will happen is you can see all the bloodstream down here. What will happen is it will actually start to leach this bacteria that gets in. So a correct root canal is what we do is we will basically have the root canal specialist put special tools in here, and he drills all this root out, drills it all out. Okay, and then they fill it up. And the old material used to be a material called gutta percha, which is what they made golf balls out of, and it actually is toxic and it's not good. Okay, but it works because it kind of seals up. But one of the problems is you see these all these little things. These are what's called microtubules. And so if we have infection inside, infection can leach into that enough. And so even though we have taken all the root out and filled it up with a material that's not infected, sometimes we have infection inside these microtubules. And so what happens is that the old root canals could fail, and you would still have infection in the tooth that is leaching into the bloodstream, but your body wouldn't know it. Okay, either it failed and it would be painful and then you'd know it, or sometimes it would fail and you wouldn't know it, but you'd have an infected tooth. So we've created new material. So this new material is what's called bioceramics by a company called Brasseler, Brassler USA company. It's called Endo Sequence by BC Sealer. And what it does is it uses nanoparticles of zirconium as well as this other stuff called calcium hydroxide, which is when it comes in contact with water, it's like a foam. and it expands all the way. And then it also, some of it expands deep down into the apex. And so it really creates a nice good seal. And then some of it actually even flows into these little microtubules. And so and the other thing is that it is anti-infective, so it will kill the bacteria and sanitize this whole tooth. Now, a good root canal is, one, getting a good material, but number two, because sometimes we'll have extra roots, a root that kind of comes off of here, and you can have three. And so Dr. Shoha, what he does is he uses also a high-powered microscope so he can see and get the tools down into each one of them. Then after he drills out and makes sure that he is lining it up with what he sees on the x-ray and what he visually sees, drills all the root parts out, and then sanitizes it with the natural sanitization, what he has to do, but he also shines a laser down so that the laser then creates this whole thing where it starts to resonate and kills the infection as well as starts to make it heal. And then he also pumps it full of ozone, which is 3 oxygen molecules. That again sanitizes it. And then also fills it up completely with this new material, that what that new material does is it seals it up, but then leaves this material that's in there that is anti-infective. And so now you have completely created where the tooth is now a non-infected tooth. And if it's successful, then and the processes that he uses ensures that you're going to have a great success. Then now you can keep your tooth, and now it's not an infected tooth, and that this is a tooth that you'll be able to keep and not have to have it taken out and then turned into an implant. So usually this is the best way to go, and I highly recommend it, that it at least be looked at, and before you go ahead and say, hey, got to get my teeth yanked out, let's first explore this option. So until next time, thanks. Bye-bye.